if your baby's already had all that stuff that their system has had to combat since birth, I'm just so curious as to why suddenly this is a concern for you. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But I have all of the links. I still have all of the stuff on the, it's literally just, okay. That's why I also liked it too. Because, hi, Jeff. Jeff's in. Let me move this way so that we can see Jeff. There he is.
Hello.
So, okay, where was I going with that? So yes, so it's totally up to you. I'm not gonna tell you how much to give your baby. But if you feel, you know, when I was talking with Adam and Chris about this stuff too, they were telling me, and Adam wants to come onto the radio show. So I'll probably do another episode in a week or two and have Adam on because his testimonies are incredible. And I think he's one of the most informed people on this subject. He's been taking it for over 2 years at this point. I think over 3, what was he saying? He started a while back, but he's one of the best when it comes to this topic. So, okay, what were the other, there was another one on there that was, what is the difference between chelation therapy and TRS? Jeff's on there, he says hi. So Jeff has an Instagram too.
Surprise!
He's just not as active on social media.
I prefer in person or maybe even face-to-face like this. I think it'd be good with.
It works better with.
Yeah.
You want to answer the chelation difference? Chelation.
Well, I would say with chelation, it lies, the main difference lies, I would say, within the side effects.
And the price.
The price as well. So if you've looked in chelation, you know, the IV treatments, I believe they're around 75 to 150 per treatment. When all said and done, I think it's upwards to 4,000, maybe even more. If you're taking the capsules, I believe those are around, for 220, it's about 170 bucks. And with those capsules, let's say 140-pound woman would be taking about, was it 13 capsules a day? So essentially, you know, your 220 is going to go by really quick. Let's say 180-pound man, I think he's going to be taking upwards about 17 to 18 capsules a day. So you're looking at about a breakdown of maybe $10 roughly per day if you're taking the capsules. So a big price. The TRS, your single bottle is about $95. Your 3-pack is about $170. For your single bottle, there's about 150 sprays in there. Yeah. So if you're starting off, you may be starting with maybe 1 spray a day, maybe 2. On average, I would say about 3. So with that average going into the 150, you'll be looking at a little over a month and a half of use for that. If you do the, repetitive, it knocks off about $20. So overall, much cheaper, and once we get into the side effects, it's actually much safer for your body. It's a lot easier. It's less stress on your body as well.
Yeah, the side effects, like you had one side effect with the TRS.
And it was I had some minor headaches in the beginning. Obviously the detox, something that I generally don't do too much of, aside from we did the activated charcoal. We've done some juice cleansing, but not to the point where we're only drinking juice for like 3 days. I don't think I can.
That was like the max, juice and almonds for 3 days, and it was like nightmarish.
I tried, and I think I lasted maybe about 30 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Maybe 1 day max. That was really like hard.
Yeah.
I need some sort of substance in my body.
So side effects in chelation then?
Yes. So some of the big ones I would say would be the nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, a fail in blood pressure, which is crazy, respiratory failure, excuse me, irregular heartbeats, let's see, allergic reactions can occur with some of the chelators, to skin rash, eczema. Let's see what else we have. You
know, Samantha does it, and so she shares how she's doing with her therapy. I know that, but she also has shared that she's had vaccine injury. She had her, you know, few shots while in college, and it just messed up her system, and so she's been on years of cleaning her system. And I know that chelation is working for a lot of people. Like it works. It's just, how do you get a kid on that? Like, how do you start a 2-year-old on something like that? That's that intense.
And you know, it's intense on certain body parts too. The liver, the kidney, those could also be damaged, and even damage to the brain, leading to a decline in cognitive function. So these are essential parts of the body that, you know, while adults, those parts have developed, they're still susceptible. And kids at a younger age, obviously they're still growing, their parts are still developing internally, so they're a little bit more at risk, I would say, you know, as it's still growing and maturing. So, you know, it's hard on the kids as well.
Yeah, and so they're not the same thing. It's not the same thing, but if you're looking into starting some kind of heavy metal detox, like, okay, it really depends on the person and what you have in your system that needs to come out. We're all wired differently. We've all had different diets. So for me, look, I used to work in a sushi restaurant for, I don't know how long, like there was like a couple years there. I eat a lot of sushi. I've like known that in the back of my head that I eat a lot of raw fish, and it was just like my favorite thing to eat, and it kind of still is. And so I was expecting, well, if I'm on this for several months, maybe I might see a parasite or two. I don't know. Even with chelation therapy, people get the parasites. But, you know, if you're in military, somebody who is in the military that is like up to date on their vaccines and everything else that they're taking in, I'm also like not outside breathing in everything all day long. I'm not, so I think it's just gonna be completely different for everyone. We had the same kind of digestive issues because we've been married for almost 10 years. We've been together for longer than that. And I feel like 99% of the meals we eat are the same meals, you know? So we notice the same kind of stuff. And so yeah, in talking with them, I was like, what can I say? What can I not say? They're like, well, it's like with any product that's not FDA approved. Like every supplement is not FDA approved, probably because it's helping people. So even that, I'm like, they're gonna fire, like I'm gonna get fired. I'm not gonna be able to say this stuff. But I called them, they're like, no, there's really nothing you can't say, but Natalia, you can't share your photos of your poop.
Stool.
And I'm like, darn it, because that stuff is crazy. Like,
so
I kind of want to though. Like, I don't know, but I'm that person that would be okay with seeing that.
Do you guys want to see this?
Do you guys want to see my? Some people on the groups, like the TRS groups I'm in, they'll share, but they'll put a warning, like warning about to share my, you know, and
graphic content.
I will be like, share it, I want to see it, and then obviously within a few hours that post is taken down. That's like the only thing I'm not allowed to share about it.
There you go, somebody put the poop emoji found.
Looks kind of like that, but then there's, you know, and so like I said, my parasites were about like, I don't know, a little under 1 centimeter, and they were just like a few of them kind of in there. And so, you know, it just, you stare at it for a while, you're like, honey, you know.
I'm like, Talia, what are you doing? Get in there.
I mean, but you know what? It's just crazy. That never happened until I started taking this stuff. For those asking like, well, how long are you going to take it for? Jeff made a lot of good, you know, what did they say? Since World War II, 80,000 new synthetic chemicals have been released just into our environment. It's not just for vaccine injured, it's for environmental toxins. I haven't had a vaccine since I was like 6, okay? And I maybe had the 3 or 4 that most of you guys did in the 80s, and that was it. I didn't take anything else since then. So I wasn't really expecting insane results like the kids that I'm reading up on, or people like Adam. But I was shocked and a bit surprised. I was kind of like pleasantly surprised, like, hey, this seems like it's working just a bit. They did move. They move because they're alive in your body.
So
sorry, they were moving. I have video too. I have like 5-second video. I want to share it.
It's like this.
I want to share.
But I did want to interject really quick. Talia mentioned that, yeah, we've been together for quite some time, so, you know, obviously we're cooking together, we're eating the same meals, we have the same diet plan essentially. But prior to meeting Talia, I ate very unhealthy, especially in college. I primarily lived on fast food, cheesecakes. Yeah,
he could eat a whole cheesecake a day.
That was when I was trying to gain weight. I would eat one of those rotisserie chickens and a Sara Lee cheesecake for lunch. Definitely not the healthiest thing to do. So you know, my eating style was different. My environment was different too. In my video on YouTube, I mentioned that I grew up and my dad smoked a lot. He would go through a minimum 2 packs a day. That's on a light day. So, you know, I was already susceptible to other things growing up. And so for me, those parasites have been in my system for a lot longer than Talia's. So fleshing those things out, like, you feel better internally.
But we didn't go full at it. Like, there were some people that they start and they'll do maybe 1 or 2 sprays the first day, and by day 2, they're doing 5. Adam is like spraying it in his eyeballs because he was so incredibly, like, the heavy metals that were trapped in his system, and his vaccine injury was like out of this world. And so he even like took it, he shared with us in our groups that when they were in Florida, his daughter had diaper rash and he sprayed it there. So for people that are concerned with their babies, you can dilute it further, or you can do a skin test. Like, he made a good point. He was like, spray it on their skin and see if there's a reaction. Like, see if there's anything crazy that they would react to a zeolite. You know, his video, he's like straight up spraying, like, what did he do on one video? Like 60 sprays.
He mentioned he did like 60 sprays, and only because he wanted to make sure, obviously, there were
military,
no
I tell you,
effects.
these guys.
His only side effect was that he stayed up for, what was it, 2 days straight.
He was awake for like 2 days, but he said it wasn't like that he couldn't go to sleep and he wanted to. He just had this insane energy. And that's how we feel too. Like, I just don't understand how I'm this energized and this able to process so much more information. That was the biggest thing for us too, I think, was taking in a lot of information. And a lot of this information I take in daily, you guys. It's not just TRS stuff, it's everything. Should result in me in a corner, just huddled over, like freaking out, thinking the world is gonna end. But I'm able to sit, read studies, still be a mom, still do the photography, and still do my meetings. And it's just this energy that is like, I don't need anything else. And like I said, I haven't had the side effects. But going back to, well, how long should I do this for? I mean, I'm going to personally, because of how I've felt, going to do a heavy metal detox once a year. And it's probably going to only be for 1 to 2 months. But I still want to do like 1 spray a day. I still want to do a spray a day throughout the rest of the time. I'll focus in more on like the really heavy, but here, why don't you break down the parts per billion? Okay. So that people understand, because that was asked a lot too. Like, well, what if you just do 1 spray? 1 spray does a lot. So I'll let you go with that. Okay, so
with the parts per billion, this essentially is the surface area that the TRS can cover. So within 1 bottle, and because it's nano-sized, it's essentially 0.9 nanometers, 1 spray essentially equals, or can cover the surface area of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. There's about 4.8 million square feet of surface area in each bottle. Sounds crazy because it's such a tiny bottle. And one of the best ways, I guess, to break it down was that if you take a beach ball and you throw it in a pool, it covers a very small surface area. Now, let's say you fill that beach ball with ping pong balls, and you dump all the ping pong balls into the pool. It's going to cover more surface area. You can continue breaking it down. Let's say you were to get the little beans out of a bean bag, and let's say you filled up the same beach ball with those, and then open the ball up, and then poured all the beans into the pool. You cover more surface area. So as it breaks down smaller, you start covering more and more surface area.
Yeah, that's a good example.
And that, honestly, because when I heard the breakdown originally, 4.8 million square feet of surface area, enough for that covers about 13,500 Olympic-sized swimming pools. I'm like, how does that even work?
Yeah.
But once that analogy of the beach ball and then the smaller balls and smaller, as it covers more surface area, that to me broke it down visually, and I could understand it a lot better.
Yeah. So just, you know, if you're like I said, I'm pumping still. If you're breastfeeding and you gotta worry about it, don't do what you're not comfortable doing. If you just want to try one spray early in the morning and you think, well, I'm not going to nurse for the next 4 to 5 hours, or I just have one bottle set to pump, do it that way. Like, go with what you feel comfortable doing, truly. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm going to pretty much, I just want, when Jeff made that valid point of like, it's literally everywhere. It's in our furniture. Like, heavy metals are in everything. So it's just great to just have at least a bottle on hand for that in case, you know. So somebody here was asking about, and it was on our FAQs here. Brienne, good. I'm glad that analogy helped out.
I can also mention something really quick. I saw somebody in there that they were saying they were tired for so long, and that you know, they wanted to know what true energy was like. It's not like drinking Red Bull and you know you have this burst of energy and then you crash later on. It's not this false energy. Yeah. For me, yeah, having both of us having kids, you know, clearly we're going to be tired. Still feeding Enzo. Sometimes he wakes up because he eats like a beast. We're going to be tired in the mornings. However, one thing I noticed that I didn't put in my video is that as long as I can remember, forever, I was so sluggish to get out of bed. I was the one that would set the alarm and hit snooze 20 times. I would set it like an hour before just so I can hit the snooze button. Now I either hit it once or I'm already up prior to it. And it's nice. I don't have this like sluggish feeling to get out of bed because I'm not a morning person either. But now it's
also all the EMFs we've been surrounded with. We've just needed some kind of a detox for a while.
Yeah, and now that Talia mentioned that, obviously if you have a lot of heavy metals in your body, you're naturally going to attract more of the EMFs. Yeah. And then of course, taking those out, it's, you know, the EMF will still be there, but it's going to be less attracted to you essentially. So, but yes, so energy, you're going to get... you guys,
but I can't, look, that's why I'm saying, I read inserts at gmail.com. You want more information on this stuff? Like literally, if just the breastfeeding nursing question, I have a study here on zeolites and nursing mammals. We have zeolites, how no zeolites are found in the sow's milk, improved fat percentages in milk, and improved milk hygiene. No long-term side effect studies. These are all NCBI. Reduced concentrations of aflatoxins in milk and long-term supplementation of zeolites lead to improved reproductive performance and health. These are all for breastfeeding and safety. So just that alone, I can't link them on this live. Email me and I will get that information out to you guys. It's a lot. There's a lot. And that's why if you do purchase it and you go with just the one, great. Try the one. See how the one does for you. You might not need as much of a detox. I don't know what your diet is like. I'm pretty sure that I feel like many of the women who, at least the women who follow on here, are pretty good about clean eating, you know, and I can tell you, you're probably better than I am. So I don't know. I don't know how you're, we'll try to save this live. I don't know what I'll do with it, or how do you save a live that's so long, and where do you post it? Because Instagram only allows like minute clips, but, so I won't tell you to take it while pregnant, but same with, like I just posted on it, there's safety while pregnant and nursing. So the groups that I'm in, women who are pregnant are taking it because, like I said, it is one ingredient. So actually, if you're still concerned and you need this information, we also have zeolite studies. See, you guys, just the list is too long. I can give you 13 studies if you just email me. 13 studies on just zeolites, on just so that you can actually, okay, amalgams, yes. The answer to that is yes, it is safe to take if you've had that in your system. When is it not safe to take? And I can send you a study on that too, more than one study. When is it not safe to take? If you are on any kind of chemotherapy. If you're taking chemotherapy, or if you're taking prescription medication that has heavy metal toxins, might not be the smartest thing to take TRS, to take the spray, because your body is going to go and attack those heavy, not your body, the zeolites will try to attack those heavy metals when, if the point of taking the chemo is that you need the heavy metals to open up the blood-brain barrier to making it work. So that explained that for me pretty well. Literally, you can consult your doctor on this. I don't know, Erin, are you still on the chat? Erin takes this. There's a lot of you out there that already take this. And you can ask your physician and if it's safe. The FDA has listed the ingredient zeolite as a generally recognized as safe. It's a GRAS. So the ingredient is safe. It's just they won't approve taking the spray. But I have not heard of any other product that children who are injured are taking that is not causing insane side effects in them, and that is showing over and over and over that it is actually helping them, and it is working. I can't say the word cure, I can't say the word heal. So, but whatever it is, they were better than they were the day before, the week before, that, you know, I guess, right? Does that make sense with that?
So we have to go around,
right,
in a roundabout way.
I mean, well, whatever. Take it if you want to. If you want to take it, if you want to try it out. You know, the ones we were looking into when it came to the family and people that I knew that I was like, they need to get on a detox. Chelation just looked so expensive when we were looking into that, and it was like we didn't have $3,000 to $4,000 to try to spend on that.
And then it was like those infomercials that you see late at night.
All the side effects.
Yeah, all the side effects where the micro machine guy is reading super fast at the very end of everything that it entails, and it's just like, damn, this sucks.
But it's better than what the other things you are going through, which is why I'm not going to knock it. It was just $3,000 to $4,000 out of pocket was a lot to start on some kind of therapy like that, and I just felt like, well, cool if some people can do it, but if your reactions and what your body is going through are so bad already, then going through side effects like that probably isn't that big a deal, because Adam even did it. Yeah. You know, you get to a point where it's kind of like desperation, like, look, I'm desperate to just feel, I can't continue my life feeling like this, and I know that I need to get out. Oh, there we go, that was on our FAQs here. Difference between Clear and Advanced.
Okay, so Clear is basically the
drops, the
older version. It is drop form. And this one, the zeolite, it's actually, the particles are a little bit bigger, so they will primarily stay within your digestive tract. The TRS Advanced, it is nano-sized. It's created in a laboratory, so it's clean. Because when you find zeolite in the wilderness or outside areas, they're already absorbing heavy metal toxins from the earth. So this is created in the lab, it's clean, and it's essentially bound to a water molecule. That's how tiny it is. And imagine the pattern of a soccer ball. That's essentially what the zeolite cage looks like. Now, since it's so small and it's in this water molecule, it allows travel throughout the body wherever water goes. So everywhere it is able to pass the blood-brain barrier, which essentially means it can access the brain, which is where a lot of heavy metal toxins will attract themselves to, because it's a fatty tissue. So once it essentially gets those toxins, and the Clear essentially stays in your digestive tract. Didn't mean to go off topic there.
Yeah, the amalgams question, I know it comes up a lot, and it's safe to take because no toxins are redistributed throughout the body, and it's safe for people who have these fillings. TRS does not pull any mercury directly from the filling. So, but if it's still a concern to you, obviously, I would recommend looking into it more. I don't have fillings like that. Yeah, depending on how long you want to do this for your kid, I don't know. They suggest a minimum of 6 months, and to see results. What's interesting is they suggest a minimum of 6 months to see results, just to be safe on the site. But the results seriously come in like a month. If you're not seeing any changes in a month, I'd stop. I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna waste another $100 on a bottle, and I gotta find something else. That's just me. You have to document your journey. You have to notice the changes in your system. And if at all else, it's just to get the decalcify. Like, look, if the only thing in your system is that you got a lot of fluoride right here, because we all have fluoride. I don't know. I'd say it's worth trying even for a month and see if it makes a difference.
So speaking of that fluoride too, obviously that calcifies the pineal gland. I may date myself here a little bit, but in my elementary school, not only did they allow paddling, but they also had a time every day where they would bring in these fluoride cups that we would have to swish with.
What?
I remember that now. I see it's working, it's decalcifying here, and I can start remembering things. But yeah, I remember they would bring these little cups, and everybody in the class, it would be fluoride, and they would swish with the fluoride for 30 seconds or something like that, and then you spit it out. That it was supposedly like good for your teeth and all that stuff, which I feel like is a lie, which is a lie. We can get into that later on, but yeah, that's what they were doing.
Oh my gosh, you need to up your sprays.
I'm at 4 sprays right now, guys. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Talia wants me drinking bottles off to the side.
No,
but yeah,
I'm
so you know what? They did that, so I don't know if anybody is around my generation or in my age frame, but some schools are doing that. I grew up, and that school was in a country.
North Carolina. Yeah. So I guess early 80s they were still paddling kids in schools, you know, versus now they can't even tell them, they can't correct the child at all, because the teachers are so afraid of the kids and their parents.
But yeah, there's fluoride in toothpaste, there's fluoride in so
not
much,
saying they should hit kids. I'm not saying that, sorry. Just had to.
But yeah, fluoride is in abundance of things that we consume or that go into our mouth. So we just need to be aware of that because that's an issue.
Yeah. So look, you guys, the best way to know if TRS is working is if the symptoms that you were suspecting could be because of heavy metals are suddenly alleviated. That's how you'll know. That's how you'll know if it worked on you. If it doesn't work on you, then cool. You know, you tried something, and but I have not heard reviews like that. I mean, I have not seen like, oh my gosh, nothing. Because even someone like me, who, like I said, I didn't have really anything going on with me. But who else should be taking it? I saw like a lot of comments with people who go, well, look, I'm not vaccine injured, neither are my kids. Like, and we've mentioned before some of the common signs of heavy metal toxicity. You know, are chronic and frequent feeling of fatigue. And even discomfort. If you have chronic pain, mainly in your tendons, throughout the muscles or soft tissue in your body, brain fog or being confused or forgetful, digestive issues. If you have digestive issues like constipation, bloating, gas, diarrhea, dizziness, migraines or headaches, which is funny because that's like the only side effect I've read. But I didn't experience any migraines or headaches with TRS. Like I said, I was just bummed that I couldn't drink more than 1 glass of wine anymore. Mood swings, visual disturbances, depression or anxiety. What is this? Oh, we got paused. Visual disturbances, depression or anxiety, nervous system disorders like numbness, burning, paralysis in the extremities, speech problems, and this one that I will do another talk on because I have like the other 12 plus links, female reproductive issues like infertility, miscarriage, and menstrual problems, because that is attributed, a lot of that is attributed to heavy metals that are in our system that we need to get out. You know, first of all, if you are having fertility issues and you're still drinking Diet Coke or any soda, please stop. Just please stop. Eating garbage would be number 1. Like, you don't have to get on. I just don't understand, and I know so many women that at this point, we talked about that the other day on the live, like, why does this country not want to talk about the amounts of fertility clinics that are popping, infertility clinics, right, that are popping up left and right? You get so many more of those popping up than you do Starbucks these days. Nobody wants to address this? No, they don't. They don't want to address this because it's a moneymaker. It's a moneymaker, and nobody's trying to give them treatment. They're just like, okay, $25,000 hit or miss. Nobody's trying to get to like the root of the problem. Like, what might be in your body that is causing, that could be causing this? Like, why not? Why don't you do that? Why are you, I mean,
because there's no
the testing, like, get tested for these heavy metals in your system. It's crazy to me that number 1 thing really needs to be diet. I mean, in all of this, even if you don't do a detox, there are free ways to detox. There really are. There's a lot of stuff that we can do for free to also detox and feel better. You don't have to take this. Like I said, I needed to look into it for over a year before I was willing to take it. That's just me. All right, when to take it? Morning is best, right?
So generally, since it stays in your system for about 6 hours and then it'll leave, morning and nights are generally good. However, you can break your sprays up throughout the day. Obviously, if you're not available in the mornings, you know, take it in the afternoon. So it could really be at any time.
Yeah. So cilantro is a natural detoxifier. So when I started even the celery juicing, a friend of mine named Paul, he introduced me to taking cilantro shots, and that is what he was doing to, like, literally he would just, I think he has one of those Omega, those expensive juicers that are really nice, and he would throw in a huge bunch of organic cilantro, and one huge bunch came up with like this bit of a shot. Foul. I hate cilantro. I'm one of those, I don't like how cilantro tastes, and so I found out though that if you hate cilantro, chances are you need cilantro. Like you know, you probably need it more than the other, yeah, because, and so I tried that, but you know, what's the initial thought on there? I can't give this to my kids. I cannot, that can't be a daily thing I can do for my kids, is that, can I spray something into their mouth? Yes. Can I, you know, so that was where I was like, well, if I had to choose between the two, but I still, or why not do both? I don't know. It can't be bad for you to eat a bunch of cilantro in that way. Like, I've heard cilantro is doing amazing things. I think it tastes like soap. I still do. I don't like it.
I take my cilantro in my salsa and my shrimp ceviche.
I will still eat salsa if there's a little bit of cilantro in there, but it's not my favorite, especially if it was homemade. Like, if it was homemade, I'm obviously polite. I'm gonna be polite and try it. It's just not my favorite. So, I'd rather on like taco night, you set it off to the side. Like, that's just me.
So just curious, if it tastes like soap, which soap does it taste like?
Like, I don't eat soap, I know that. Like, I'm not this like connoisseur of well, it tastes like the, you know.
Soap poisoning.
Maybe it's more that it tastes like how certain hand soap smells, does that make?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not like sitting here eating soap. We met with a mom though over the weekend. We were at this neighbor party thing, and she was talking about how her daughter might have, is it called PCOS? Is it called PCOS? She has an 18-month-old who's obviously it's a neighbor mom, and we know that they're likely, we know where their stance is on that topic. But her 18-month-old daughter has a problem where she likes to eat lotion and soap, and she's like, every time I turn my back, she's like eating a bottle of lotion. I'm just like, who's watching her? How does this happen that often? She's like, no, I swear to you, she just like loves to eat lotion, loves to eat soap, even if it doesn't taste good. Pica. Yeah, they think that she has pica. Is there a cure for that? Anyway, I mean, side note, because I mean, she's somebody that I see every few weeks at this point. We have these neighbors that are kind of the opposite of us. It's just that our kids love playing with their kids. So we usually give things like 4 to 5 visits before we get into like really our views. That's just how I roll, you know. Super sick, we can't detoxify. Yeah, cilantro I've heard can also make you feel really ill as it's pulling metals, and try that first. If you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to do TRS first, try something like cilantro, because you know that that's just cilantro.
So cilantro, one thing I wanted to mention on that, I haven't done a lot of research. However, I don't know if cilantro will neutralize the toxins that it's pulling from the body, because that could be an issue. If cilantro is essentially grabbing the toxins and it's making its way out of the body, it could be doing harm as well. Whereas the TRS, it will neutralize those toxins that either bond to the zeolite cage, or that trap in there, so that way when it's passing the body, it doesn't cause any extra damage. So that could be something, like I said, I haven't looked into the cilantro detox too much, so that may be a reason why.
Okay, so since I have you here on the live, can I ask you a favor?
Is this a surprise?
No, I need to ask you a favor. Because I don't want to spend too much time doing this TRS stuff, and maybe if people who like buy want information and help, can you like talk to them? Because you were like so in, you're like so into this with this. because I just have like all this other stuff that I want to talk about. But Jeff will help us too. Can you help?
Yes, I will be more than happy to help.
I feel like my life is...
It's helping me, and if it'll help other people, then I'm
He's shared the link. Can you share that link one more time? It's on, yeah. Look, on my profile is the YouTube link, and you click on it, and then there's more info, and then that's you know, even the website now. The initial site link that this company was giving me was literally just to shop or distribute. And I was like, that's not all the questions. So had to set up something else that had a bunch more FAQs, a bunch more information. So I think that that's way more helpful before you need to email on that stuff.
Yeah.
But we'd be more, yeah, we would be more than happy to, Jeff would be more than happy to send off all those studies in regards to TRS. So, do parasites only come out in your poo? That's a good question so far, but I've heard of people who even with the essential oils,
well, a lot of the parasites
will feel, I don't know, some of these moms, I don't sell oils, but some of these moms were saying that there's certain concoctions that they make where if you put it on your head, you could literally feel the parasites moving along. Those were crazy. Those were some crazy testimonies that I had. I know some of you moms do that, right? Like I think the Young Living and that stuff. Are they white? Oh, like the people? I don't know. Oh no, oh sorry, the parasites. Like, I don't know, maybe. Sorry. I was like, what does that matter? I understand the question now. I understand it. No, they were not. I want to say they were more of like a...
Yes, what color were they?
Well, I want to say they were more of like a yellow-orange light. Like a yellow-orange light. Yes, Young Living. So ask your favorite Young Living distributor or doTERRA who might know about parasite type oil things you could mix up and do. And actually, you guys, if you do that, then just message me with what that mix would be, because that's interesting. So, but no, so far I've only seen it in the poop. So far it's only been in the poop. And I don't know. Now I'm like, is there more? Are there bigger ones in there that are trapped? Well, like our kids, you know, being honest, we didn't really notice too much of a side effect difference with our kids because they didn't have a dire need to detox heavy metals in their system. Especially Sebastian, he's just already really energized. He's a 5-year-old who's pretty energized.
But the one thing that we did, or that was a little bit of a concern, is when they drink water at school.
Oh yeah.
The water is fluoride. There's fluoride in there, so we worry about...
Well, we give them water to take to school.
True, but they also will drink, like if they don't have their water bottle with them, they'll drink at the water fountains. That's right. And you know, it is a concern at that age for their pineal gland to calcify over. So that will essentially help, you know, counteract that fluoride that they're getting when we're not around to control that.
Yeah. Yeah. So does that, you guys are all of this parasite thing? Because what other parasite, what other cleanses have you heard of where you can get rid of the parasites? The ones that I was looking into just were so costly. And maybe had I taken more in the beginning, I would have experienced that faster. It wouldn't have taken 4 months in for me to start seeing that, you know, because I'm telling you, I was doing like 2 sprays, 3 sprays. I mean, I wasn't as...
It's routine now. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm bringing Enzo down, getting the kids their breakfast or whatever. I just pop it. I try and do it actually before the kids even wake up.
So, okay, I've never done a coffee enema. Neither of you.
Don't be wasting
I know coffee. Some people do. I know people who do them and swear by them. I just haven't done that.
I don't know.
I want things to come out of my body, not like come in. Like I want things to come out of that area of my body and not have to like push stuff up in there. That's a personal thing. This conversation could take a whole other turn at this point.
I'd rather go out.
But preference, you guys. For me, I don't like injections. Don't talk to me about IV stuff. I don't want to be like further poked and prodded. Not my thing. I would rather, the spray thing sold me. I was like, I could do a spray under my tongue. I could do a spray.
You know what, speaking of the coffee, like I keep jumping on this because I haven't had energy for a long time. I would drink coffee every morning, sometimes twice a day. You know, sometimes when at the office, I would like 3 to 4 cups just to keep me going just till the next cup.
Yeah.
And now I rarely drink coffee, maybe once a week, if that.
This is chai tea.
The chai tea's good.
Chai tea.
But yeah, I've reduced my coffee intake insanely because I don't need it anymore. I still like the taste. Maybe I'll drink it socially, but yeah, gone are the days where I'm dependent on coffee now, and I am thankful for that.
Oh, Nicole, you just got some yesterday? That's awesome.
Ooh.
She said she can already feel something going on. And you know what? I'm gonna be, look, the first few days when I was feeling different, I was thinking placebo effect. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, this is a placebo effect. It's not the spray. It's not. And that's why I didn't talk about it for so long. I was waiting. I mean, even though testimonies were coming in and I was like, cool, well, I can forward these to other moms that are interested, forward all these other messages. I was like, no. I started my video, a little over a week ago, because stuff was moving in my poop. That's the only reason I was like, I gotta talk about this now. And yes, I was feeling better, and I was like, well, I am feeling energized, but I was honestly psyching myself out. I was attributing it to everything else. I really was.
You know, the testimonies have been there. You know, we've been taking it personally, so
yeah,
it works for us. It works for us, so we're gonna continue using it.
Yep, and look, Jeff also has an Instagram, so bug him because he gets all into like the nanoparticles and like the science of it, the chemistry of it.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I mean, it's not that stuff's boring to me. I don't know how to explain it, but but yeah, hit him up and Parasite Freedom. And yeah, I'm gonna jump back on. I'll probably only have like 15 minutes to go over other stuff before the live, before the radio show. But yeah, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
On the show, on the IG live. Are you coming on the radio show too? Probably not. You guys are gonna love the show topics today. It's on the powers that be, you know, being a tax cow versus a civilian. Oh man, it's gonna be really good and deep, and it's on at 10:30.